Okay. We are live. We are ready to go.
Okay.
You do impressions like Denzel.
Do Morgan.
First time I laid eyes on Andy Dufresne, I knew he was gonna be somebody's girlfriend. Let me hear yours.
Round and brown cow frown down.
All right, Samuel L. Jackson.
Motherfucker.
No, I'm gonna beep it too. Like,
Oh, you
Yeah, like
so you saying the people can't hear motherfucker, so you gonna beep motherfucker?
I mean,
Ain't that a motherfucker? Why you beeping motherfucker?
I'm gonna beep.
You a beeping
I'm
motherfucker?
gonna beep mother, but I'm not gonna beep. I don't know if y'all saw this story. It was actually a follow-up story. So there was this actress who I don't know how long she had been in the game, but she was like grinding and she just wasn't like catching her break. So she figured out the route that like Tyler Perry took from his house to his work. Mm-hmm. And she was like, Tyler Perry, I'm your next leading lady. Like she put all her contact information. Mm-hmm. And of course that like gained, like national news or whatever. The reason the story came back up again is because she just landed a
role in Tyler Perry's upcoming show.
So I'm not sure.
Initially, he said that wasn't the way to get his attention.
So originally what he said, you want me to quote him?
Yeah.
He said, "This is not the way to get my attention if you're looking for a role in one of my shows." And he pretty much urged them to save their money for a better purpose. He said, "I love that you want to work with me, and I love that you invest in yourself. But when you do things like this, it puts my team on high alert and makes me look at you sideways. I know the message you want to send is a positive one, but this comes across as the opposite."
How far would you do something like that? Like, would you put up a billboard? Or are you just kind of like staying the course and trying to let those things, like you're trusting the process?
I'm not mad at a billboard. If I did it, it would be to advertise like a project or something.
Like a film that you did or something. Yeah. You're not going to be like, I'm the best actor.
Right.
Pick me for your role.
However, I'm not mad at what she did. But only like how far you would go. It got to him.
Right. Yeah.
Even if he want to say it went the right way, you saw it.
Yeah.
How else was he going to find
right.
her,
Well, the reason that kind of caught my attention and I remember hearing that is because I've kind of done similar things in my past.
Put yourself on a billboard?
No. When I was in my second year of film school, I decided to do a faith-based movie. Mm-hmm. It was actually like based on a true story. I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Seventh-day Adventist religion. I was raised Seventh-day Adventist.
And to clarify, that means y'all don't eat cheese on Saturday? Can you break that down?
Yeah. So you can eat cheese, but it's after sunset.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's cheese hours.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
In addition to that, like we grew up playing basketball.
Right.
So you couldn't participate in like sports or like other activities like that.
That's the main day.
Yeah.
Back then.
And that's what was hard too, because we were in like AAU and like all the tournaments fell on the Sabbath. And even though we didn't get to play, even though we had one less day, me and my brother got to play collegiate ball. Mm-hmm. And my brother actually got recruited to play Division I basketball.
Okay.
So I filmed this project. You were actually on that movie.
I was.
Okay.
I was.
Yeah, you were an extra. I think you went for the lead role, and we were
this
like,
"This is the thing. This how you didn't know really know what you was doing."
Yeah.
Because I'd have been I would have been a coach or something.
Very true.
You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to the cast though. Everybody was cool.
And so we found the gym, we found some basketball players, we found our characters, and we ended up making the movie. It was hard. We put like a lot of pre-production into it, and boom, the movie finishes, and I'm like, I was kind of feeling kind of good, like, yo, this is a dope movie.
It's really something.
It's really something. This is probably the best movie that our film school will ever see.
Oh wow, he was feeling himself.
I went there too, right?
That's crazy.
I do agree. It was the best Seventh-day Adventist movie ever in the history of that school.
That's funny.
It's probably the only.
It is the only one, but
If you know Drew, put it in the comments if this is like
That is the best Seventh-day Adventist movie.
not it was the best film to go to that school.
Let's show. Can we show them the trailer? Just so they can, just so it can kind of, they can have, because the trailer's
You
pretty
sure?
good.
You want to do that? They may not finish the podcast after they see it.
I'm gonna show y'all the
Is
trailer.
your trailer that good though?
You be the judge.
I'll just listen to it.
I really want to get started today. Daniel?
oh, it's on my shoe.
Okay.
Okay. There I go, right there.
To this team, coach.
Oh, I heard the shoes on the.
Then I'll see you at practice on Friday night.
It sounds compelling.
You know I can't.
Everyone to the baseline now. Let's go.
Come to practice when we have practice.
Hey,
That sounded legit. It did.
that was a great trailer.
It did.
That was a great trailer.
So
I didn't see it, but I heard it, and it sounded dope.
Without me, I don't think it works, honestly. But that was a real good trailer.
The plan was to turn. We already had planned out the whole feature, so we were like, we're gonna do the short and
Sell that idea.
sell that idea.
We can expound on this
Right.
if you are in on it.
Right. And I actually knew of who would be the perfect producer. Have y'all ever heard of Devon Franklin? He's like
Megan Good.
Megan Good.
yeah. He's married to Megan Good. I knew that he had grown up Seventh-day Adventist.
Okay, he's
And-
7 day.
Like now he's big, so he'll get like speaking engagements, and he'll like speak on Sunday. Like he'll go to like Sunday churches and like other churches. So I don't know if he specifically still just does like Saturday, but I think he does actually.
It says he's
Okay.
Seventh-day Adventist preacher and ordained minister,
Okay.
and he's still unplugged from technology from Friday to Sunday in order to read the Bible and attend church.
There you go. So I was like, somebody who observes that, he's a filmmaker because he worked with like Will Smith. He's done all those like Pursuit of Happiness and like all
that
those.
was him?
But I was like, how do you reach these people?
Right.
You could try to send them like a DM. Have you guys ever tried to like reach out to?
Yeah. Yep.
How did it go?
It didn't go.
Right, exactly. But at that time, I think I did send him a message.
Hold on. What day did you send it?
I might have sent it
Wow.
after. That's probably why he missed my emails.
His email automatically delete emails from Friday to. Dang.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, I need to do something better. I need to go track this man down. So I like looked up his schedule and I was like, where can I go? How can I get our paths to cross? And he had 3 speaking engagements. And then one was in Kansas, and it was a Seventh-day Adventist church. So
There you go. Process of elimination. That was your best chance.
Right.
Got you.
So I started Googling flights to Kansas, and I was like, hey, it's pretty cheap to fly from Virginia to Kansas, on Spirit. I told the
They say on Spirit, sometimes you got to drive the plane.
yeah, so I booked my flight on Spirit, and I was just like,
What was it, $20?
yeah,
Round trip?
round trip. Found like a cheap hotel, near the church or whatever.
Okay.
Oh yeah, on the way there, I was like, how am I gonna show it to him? Like if I do actually like get in front of him, I can't just like show it to him on my phone.
Right.
So I was like, I'm gonna buy him an iPad.
Hold up. You bought an iPad?
No, it wasn't an iPad actually. I was like,
A
I don't
Kindle?
want. Yeah, it was like.
So you skimped on them. It's like you
Oh,
don't.
wow.
Yeah, because I was like, I need a device, but the iPads was too expensive. Like,
And even if he watched it, it wouldn't even been good enough quality on the camera. But I see the vision.
So you were gonna show him the film on the iPad.
Right. Because, like, trying to...
What day is he speaking?
Right.
I mean, even if he didn't want to, like, watch it on the spot because he felt like it was the Sabbath, that's why I put it on the...
You were giving him the iPad. You weren't just showing him something.
Yeah. I was giving it to him.
Wow.
I wanted to, like, put the film on there and be like, hey, I made this.
When you get the chance.
When you get the chance, can you watch it?
Did you put any other photos or anything up there that he could look at? Like just you smiling or selfies? Download him some of your favorite apps. Like he left his high record on Flappy Bird up there. Just so he could.
If you don't like the movie, at least try to beat my score.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I still didn't feel like that was enough. I was like, I'm going out there. I got my ticket.
So a brief. So it's ticket. So it's film, ticket, Kindle, hotel.
Right. So I was like, what if? Because I knew it was a revival. I was like, what if they played it during church? Because it was.
You tried to hijack the church service.
Because it was a 7-Day Adventist movie.
This becomes more Andrew the more you. Wow.
But I wanted to go about it the right way.
You passed right way like 7 wrong ways ago.
I Googled who the pastor was of the church.
Okay.
And it turns out this guy that I know here local knew the pastor of the church.
Okay.
So I was like, I reached out to him. I called him. I was like, hey, do you know such and such pastor, And he was like, yeah, we're actually, we're good buddies. We know each other from way back in the day.
Okay.
I'm riding off that confidence of having this must-see movie. So I'm like...
And a connect. So it's movie, flight, Kindle, hotel, connect.
Yeah, you're following. So I was like, I'm doing film. I just did this 7-Day Adventist movie. And I want Devon Franklin to see it. and I'm like, hear me out. And I'm thinking about going.
Because he hung up. You had to call him back.
Yeah, I had to call back and be like, did I lose you? Are you in bad?
You good?
You in a bad service area? And he's like, I see what you're trying to do here. I guess I can like reach out to him or at least put you guys in contact.
Okay.
So I call the pastor and I'm like, hello, this is Drew.
Like he knew you.
Like he knew me. No. I'm like, this is Drew. Your boy.
Okay.
Your boy gave me your number.
Okay.
Yeah. He's like, Drew, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a big revival this weekend. I don't have a lot of time to talk. And I was like, but I have this movie. And, I know Devon Franklin is coming, and it's about a 7th-day Adventist basketball player who stands up for his faith, and Devon Franklin needs to see this movie. And he probably was like,
"You don't get your guy." That's not what he said?
He didn't say it, because, he's a pastor.
He said, "You ain't Drew, right?" He's like, "Yeah, Drew, if you don't get your guy."
He didn't say those words directly. But he was like,
mother.
And I could feel it in his voice. He was like, I told him I was coming. I was like, I already bought.
What'd you tell him?
He said, I didn't need no invitation. I'm already there.
I already did.
I'll be there.
I told him I already got my flight.
Yo, it don't matter what you. I'm just trying to be nice and let you know now. I'm already on the way.
Yeah, I was like, it would be cool if you allowed me to show this movie.
But if you don't.
I'm coming
I'm
anyway.
showing my movie.
I'm showing my movie. And then
That's crazy.
So he was
he
like,
really tried to hijack a church service.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm gonna go there, and it's gonna work out one way or another. He didn't say he kind of just found a way to get me off the phone. He was like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you if you're coming.
Know what's leading you, because it ain't God. I'm just trying to
God
figure
ain't
out.
got nothing to do with this.
So all the work is done, the pre-work.
Right.
I got
at least as much as you can do.
At least as much as I can do. It's in God's hands now.
Mm-hmm.
So I hop on the Spirit flight and I land in Kansas City. I think I got there like Friday morning, and I think the revival started like Friday night, and kind of
You
went.
got there on Friday morning?
Yeah, I got there.
Then you leave Tuesday? Spirit do whatever they want. They be going and stopping seeing people.
Yeah.
So y'all gonna be all right when I go see my cousin?
I was like, then we pass it. Yeah.
I'm like, bro, we in Arizona.
Yeah. Right.
Oh man.
So I get to Kansas, right? So I get ready and I go over to. I think I actually because I rented a car, so I think I actually did a drive-by during the day just to.
And this is on Friday?
Yeah, when I landed.
Okay.
You know, I show up the first night for the revival.
Right.
And Devon's not going to be there, but I need to make contact. I need to start.
Oh.
I need to start.
You got to get yours in.
Right. I need.
Set your foundation with the congregation first.
Right. So.
Wow. So you fake like you was a member of the church.
He picked a random old woman and was like, that's my grandma at the church.
So you the visitors, you're like, I'm here with my grandma. She's like, boy, if you don't get your, I don't know you.
So I get there, and only a few people had showed up. It wasn't like a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just kind of like
Was Pastor? He was there, right?
the pastor was there. So I kind of scoped him out, and on my way out, I actually tracked him down because remember I had looked him up ahead of time. So
They looked you up too. They had a photo on the wall that said, "Don't let."
That's why he was walking out the side door
this
when
man in. Second you called and was like, "Yeah, I'm Andrew." They were like,
he's like,
"Put
hold on
him
right
on
quick.
the list."
Did I tell you don't let this mother?
That's funny because looking back on it, they probably did because they were ready for me because after the first night, I started lingering. But there was a head deacon, and I don't know how much you know about church, but like the head deacon is kind of like the security. They're like,
He think he's security.
he thinks he's security. Right. So he was the one who was kind of like, looking around like, what's this guy doing here? So eventually, like everybody, they had sent everybody home who was there for the Friday night service. Right. And I was the only one. It was like church officials and me.
Oh my.
He was just sitting in the pews by himself.
No. We were actually in they were in the kitchen because.
You were in the kitchen?
Yeah. They were like setting up chairs and they were like preparing. They were like, okay, we got this good to go for tomorrow. We got this.
He threw on an apron and a hairnet and he said, let me help y'all.
Y'all need help?
I did. They were like washing dishes. I was like,
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Let me help you with that. And finally, like the head deacon who thought he was like the security guard was like, all right, if nobody else is going to say it, I'm going to say it.
What you doing around here, yellow mother?
Yeah. He was like, who are you? What do you want? What are you doing here? And I'm like, hey, brother, take it easy.
Take it easy, brother.
We're in the house of the Lord. I thought everybody was welcome in the house of the Lord. But,
Service was over 2 hours ago. You still here?
Yeah. I was like, but since you're asking,
I respect him. The first person with some sense in this
For real, man.
I was like, but since you're asking, I got something I want to show you if you just let me reach into my bag.
He said, I'm reaching in my pocket, sir.
I'm reaching into my pocket. I'm going to take out a film. No sudden movements or whatever.
He was packing. He pulled out.
Yeah, but he had Drew on the wall like this.
He's like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I got something I want to show you. Devon Franklin. Yeah.
Did he let you breathe a little bit? He was like, oh. He said, which pocket is it in? He got it himself. You said it's in the right?
Yeah, he's like, okay, yeah, he does have a movie here. He wants to show Devon Franklin. I was like, yeah, it's not a bomb. It's not a bomb.
Watch the trailer, sir.
So, he, like you said, he was the only person who kind of
strong-armed you.
Yeah, he strong-armed me, and it kind of threw me off guard, and I had to state my purpose. He, like everybody else, was
because if you couldn't get past him,
right,
you might as well got back on that Spirit flight and came back home.
Mm-hmm. So I had to say, like, hey, I'm here with this film, and can I show it to you? And he was like, nah, I don't want to see it. He actually, so I showed it to, I showed it to the pastor. I think his daughter was there, and I because they were like kind of sitting in the dining room while everybody else was in the kitchen setting up and all that kind of stuff, and they were actually kind of like, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. And I was
Okay.
like, you know, I'm still up on the wall, water watching it. And I'm like, if they like it, you going to let me go, right? And they were like, let him go. This is...
You said it's all right?
Yeah. And then so they...
dusting you off?
They started
All
dusting
right.
me off. Like, okay, yeah, that's not bad. It was like, do you want to see it? Nah, I still want to see it.
He still...
Yeah, he wasn't interested.
Yeah, he ain't rocking with you.
So then I go to the pastor and I'm like, so you like the movie? You think it's pretty good? Is there any way that we could show it to the entire church during service?
Okay.
You know, he was like, well, you know, I don't know about that. We already have like a full service, but he saw like how persistent I was. I was like, I'm not trying to ambush I'm not trying to, you know, disrupt your revival. You know, I'm here for the revival too. I'm here for the revival too, but I also kind of want to share my film with the church and with also Devon Franklin.
He would fit in perfectly in Hollywood.
Oh,
I
man.
would, being fake.
Shiesty mother.
That's
Yeah.
your city. Go there.
Yeah,
Enjoy
they
it.
say that's how it is because you can't trust nobody because they all have like an
Ulterior
motives. And, you know, we can kind of come back to that. So anyway, the pastor, I guess I don't know, maybe he felt bad for me because I had got choked out by the deacon. But
He said, man, your shirt wrinkled. I might be able to do something for you.
yeah, that's what he said. He was like, but it's not ultimately my decision. I have to talk.
It's not the pastor's decision?
Right. That's what I thought was interesting. He was like, there's actually a committee, like a church
Yeah, a
committee.
lot of churches have that.
And I was like, is the head deacon on the committee? He was like, yeah, unfortunately he is. So
Dang.
I got to get a bunch of yeses and no's. So I go home. I'm all excited. You know, I wake up the next morning and I'm like, you know, I'm going to put on the suit jacket. And I was like, I'm about to, you know, show my film in front of the church. Devon is going to get up, come shake my hand.
Mr. Franklin.
Come and shake my hand.
He coming to show you, Mr. Franklin.
I came all the way to Kansas to show you this movie. So then, you know, I find the pastor the next morning at the service. I show up early.
So, right now, film,
Kindle,
flight, hotel, connection, and
Bible,
and you got hemmed up. So you
I
add the
got a new
whooping
suit.
to his tab.
Add the new suit.
Mr. Franklin, he got whooped trying to show you.
Yeah, I got beat up. Yeah, let's
And
add
the
the
suit.
beat up and the suit.
Okay.
So I got all this
They
stuff.
call it the Deacon Special.
Yeah. So I had a black eye. You know, I had to put a piece of meat. I had to put a piece of add that. I had to stop at
You
the
had to put a
store
bag of peas on your eye and get makeup. Add makeup.
and bag of peas.
Mr. Franklin.
So I show up the next day. You know, I just wanted to get there early to see like what the decision was. So I get there and I find the pastor and I'm like, okay, so how did it go last night? Did the committee say that I'm gonna be able to present my movie?
When did this conversation happen? Before service, after service, or did you?
I went there
Was
like
he on stage and you were like, "Hey,
He said,
like-
I'm praying, mother.
what was the decision?"
That's how excited I was. He was literally like,
Yo, Kemp stupid.
please bow your heads, ladies and
He
gentlemen.
completely ignored everything Kemp he said.
Can I?
Like, bruh, I'm praying, mother.
So he you know, he's praying. I wait for him to finish praying, and I like, you know, did they decide I could show the film? And he was like, you know, we're not gonna be able to show the film during the main service, but and I was like, well, can I, you know, still try to meet with Devon, you know? And he was like, he called them handlers. He said, well, Mr. Franklin has like handlers, and they're very specific about you know, his time. Because I
I heard his folks like the Men in Black.
right, but I mean, like, he's pretty big, so I guess, you know, they're probably used to people like me trying to come and do that kind of stuff. So that's why they're not gonna have him out in the open. Like they were saying, his people come pick him up from the airport. They got the requirements for him to be able to speak. He has to have like a green room, and he'll go. You know, it has to be like a back door that he comes in to the green room, and then from the green room, he's like escorted to the stage. You know, and no one can kind of interfere in that time. Like he can't be approached by strangers during that time. So that's what he kind of explained to me, like real quickly. He was like, but I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna try to at least.
Hey, yo, Pastor Rockin', man, and I appreciate it.
Yeah,
what's his?
He was the only one on my side.
You don't know his name no more?
I do, but I don't
Pastor
know.
Hughes, man. I appreciate you looking out for my boy, man.
Yeah, so he, he was looking out. He was like, I'm gonna see if I can get y'all in a room together, you and him. I really liked your movie, and let's see if we can. I can't show it, and that was the church's decision. It's out of my hands, but let's see if we can at least get you in the room with Devon.
And that was you being polite again. So you was like, I'm asking you, can I meet with him? If you can't do it, I'm still gonna meet with him. I'm just asking you if you can make it smooth.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. I go sit down, and at this point, I'm calm. I mean, I can relax a little bit and actually, enjoy the service because I'm like, I got the pastor on my side.
Okay.
He wants to see, he wants to see me succeed. And looking back on it, that must have been like I owe him like a lot of credit actually, because you planning this big service and you just got me like pestering you, like did you find out if I'm gonna meet with Devon? Did you can I show my movie? And he's trying to put on this service to win souls for the Lord.
How many years did it take you to realize that?
I think I just realized it actually.
While you were telling the story
while
right
I'm
now?
telling the story, yeah. I'm just realizing that I was kind of being, kind of shysty, like you said. I wasn't there with pure intentions. So I guess that's one learning point. We could list those two. I wasn't there with pure
The deacon
intentions.
sent you on the plane.
Right.
He said, that's a yellow mother flying here right now on some bull.
So after the morning service is over.
By the way, Mr. Franklin is yellow too, right? Y'all on the yellow team.
Yeah. So after the service was over, I was like, am I still gonna get to meet with Mr. Franklin?
You asked again? Oh my God. I'm like, all right, man, you gotta go.
He was, because it's funny, I asked and I think he had lied to me, because this time he was like, I think he had told me that just to kind of get me off his back for a little bit. I don't think there ever was like a meeting, because he was like, he tried to blame it on Devon's. Well, I don't know, maybe it was. They were like, maybe he reached out and he was like, nah, Devon's people aren't, or Devon's people said, no, he can't meet with anybody.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, like you said, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to meet with him regardless, but it's not going to be, through the church.
Right.
So service starts, the pastor goes up, and then Devon does finally come into the room.
Was his feet on the ground, or was
he what? It was like, it's interesting because it's like when a celebrity or somebody of stature enters a room, like
everybody stood up.
Everybody kind of like, they didn't stand up, but there was kind of like a oh, there he is,
quiet.
And he kind of like levitated to his, he had walked in with his head up, and like you said, his men in black people were like, back up, like escorted him to like the front.
And then you saw him doing the codes. They was like,
yeah,
that's him.
I was like, me. There was a red dot on my chest. Yeah, so I see him come in.
He said it was a red dot.
Yeah, from the.
They was circling it down on your chest to let you know. Hey, boy,
stay back. So Devon's at the front of the church, kind of with his head up high, and I'm like, okay, I can see why you're a celebrity. I can just feel everyone.
He had the vibe for him.
He had the vibe. Yeah, he had the vibe. The pastor goes up to the stage, and he's like, welcome to this week's revival. We have a very special guest speaker for you today. You all know him. He's very big. And we're lucky to have him speaking here with us, And then out of the blue, he was like, and we also have I could tell that he didn't know if he was going to do it or not. But I think all the work that I had put in up until that point.
Let me at least shout him out.
Yeah. And he was like, And we have another special guest here who traveled a long way from Virginia,
Pastor.
and he has this film, a very special film. It's very powerful message. And Andrew, he's with us here today. So maybe we'll show his film later on.
Did you stand up
for the? No, I didn't stand up. Dang. And Devon kind of was like, he heard film.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of looked back like, okay,
but they were still circling the dot.
Like he turned around and I went like this, and it 2 dots.
Like, it's 2 now.
No, it's 2. Yeah.
They just go in a circle. You like
okay,
like bet.
All right.
So Pastor shouted you out. That's actually.
Yeah, that's really...
Shouts out to him, man.
Mm-hmm. And, he kind of told me that, even though I wasn't going to meet with him one-on-one, they said that Devon was actually they were going to set it up so that people can shake his hand and meet him or get an autograph after the service.
Okay. And
they said that I could be a part of that. So I mean...
So a meet and greet is what you got to look forward to.
Right, a meet and greet.
How did Deacon feel about all this? He's still not rocking with you?
Nah, he's still, I would see him every now and then kind of squinting at me.
Had his arms crossed when he called you out in front of the church.
Yeah, he was definitely probably the reason why I didn't get to. Because think about it. If Devon is there, they had a projector already because they showed some other stuff. It's not that long. The film was 8 minutes total. And it's related to, the events of the weekend, standing up for your faith, Seventh-day Adventist. And
I love how at one point I thought he learned a lesson, but he's still justifying the point that his film was meant to play at that revival.
You're right. All right.
But at this point, man, you just got to. You can't just turn around and go home. You done did all this.
Right.
The deacon ain't beat you up for nothing.
Yeah. I didn't catch
He did the job, though, because deacons are not supposed to be nice.
He did. Cause
if you know a nice deacon,
because sometimes
that church, anything can happen there.
So at that point, I'm still like, I got the iPad, the Kindle, and the pastor shouted me out. So at least the bug's already in Devon's ear. And the service goes on. Devon goes up, delivers his message, and like I said, I could see why he's a famous speaker because he
did an amazing job.
Yeah, like
Mr. Franklin,
nice
amazing job.
That was great. He had jokes in there, and he's real relevant.
Okay,
he was like, some of y'all ladies out there, y'all waiting on the Lord to have this man call you back, and they like, that's me, but God's trying to tell you that ain't the man for you, but you ain't trying to listen. You trying to pray for your relationship to work out when you ain't supposed to be in this relationship in the first place.
Mr. Franklin.
That's a word.
There's the word.
When you stop trying to do what you want to do.
Whoa, he's going at him like that?
To God.
Your employer is blessed to employ you. You're not blessed just to be there. Who am I talking to right now? What you believe adds value to the organization, somebody. So it was quiet after I said that. She didn't know what to say or do. But after a moment, she said, don't worry, we can work around that. And I got the internship and was able to observe the Sabbath. And every single job in Hollywood that I have had, from being a junior executive at a production company to ultimately becoming senior vice president of production for Columbia Pictures, every single job, the stipulation was I have to observe the Sabbath. There were times, amen, come on somebody. Come on. There were times I was in Beijing, China shooting a movie. Guess what? The sun sets there too. And I walked off set. I said, I gotta go. I gotta go. Why? Because it's not worth it to compromise.
So, he delivers a great message, even as someone who wasn't attending church at that time, I even got it, if nothing else,
to you.
If nothing
else,
was
at least going home with a message.
I was at least going home with a message.
At least Drew got something because he ruined everybody else's weekend.
Because everybody else got nothing. Let's be clear.
Because I was ruining it.
He ruined the entire revival, but he got something.
So, after the church, like they said, there would be a chance for the meet and greet. So they take Devon out the back to the other room, and they were like, if you want to meet Devon, line up right here. It's gonna be very quick. He doesn't have a lot of time, and so we'll just kind of like move you through. If you want to get a picture, have your phone ready, hand it to us. If you want your book signed, have it, whatever you want, have it ready. People got in line quick, so I'm in the back. And I'm like, at this point, he's about to do this meet and greet, and then he's about to be gone. So I was like, man, I didn't get to, this is it. So now I start getting nervous because I'm like, I did all this, and
now you on a real time crunch.
Now I'm on a time crunch. It's like, this is the last. This is not, I thought I was gonna have a chance to show the movie to him. Then I was told I was gonna get to meet with him one-on-one.
You thought it was just you versus the deacon. Now it's you versus Men in Black.
Right. Now I gotta
You in line. They still got the dots on you.
Right. There's and like I'm observing. Like the line was kind of long, but I'm seeing.
By the way,
there was like 4 or 5 people there.
How did you get so late? Like, you had to drop on everything, and you still was last.
Right. I think it was because he mesmerized me because of the message. I was still sitting there like.
Okay.
I was like, man.
Everybody else was like,
everybody lined
in this line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just missed. I forgot what I had come there to do, and then so I'm in the back of the line. And we're, the line's moving forward. They're moving people forward. And they're like, oh, Mr. Franklin, come on. You changed my life, da-da-da.
They're just taking photos with them and
stuff.
stuff.
Taking photos or, like, getting him to say, I remember some, like, younger youths were getting him to say, like, he's like, what's your name? Aaron? All right, y'all, Aaron. I'm here with my man, Aaron. He's a real cool dude. So he he was, I don't
getting autographs and stuff.
Yeah, getting autographs. He was a cool dude. Like, or at least for a meet and greet. Right. I didn't know at that time that, like, that meet and greet was, like, part of their job or like a performance. So, I'm working my way up. And like I said, I'm a little nervous just because this is like it all had built. I hadn't been nervous up until this point. Like I was ready to meet him. But now that it's like this is do or die.
The light's on now.
Right. It's like do or die. As we get closer, I'm like going through my head, like, trying to think of like what I want to say to sell this movie. And then what really threw me off is the woman in front of me she was carrying like I couldn't see exactly what she had, but she was kind of like walking like this in front of me, like she had something heavy.
Okay.
And then so she gets up there and she's like,
a baby?
Carrying it like that.
Can you kiss my baby on the forehead?
She gets out there and she's like, it's a stack of papers about this thick. And she like Devon's kind of like he was looking at her like that, and she was like he was like, okay, come on up, sister, it's your turn. She's like, what you got or whatever. And she's like, I've had a hard life and I've transcribed it all, and I really think that you're the one who's gonna help me bring this story to fruition. And I'm keep in mind I'm next. And I'm like, I saw the way that...
And this was handwritten.
Yeah, it was handwritten.
You ain't got a shot.
Wait, so did you regret buying the Kindle at that point?
I was like, this woman brought loose leaf paper.
Wow.
But no,
the pages were like yellow and like...
coffee spilled on like her manuscript. But she was like, I've tried everything to try to get this published. And so I'm seeing somebody else who had the same intentions that I have. Whereas like everybody else was kind of like...
And you were disgusted.
Yeah, I was. That was the first time that I was like, how you going to do this to Devon?
She got some nerve.
She had some nerve to come up here and try. This man don't got time to read your manuscript. Now go on and move so I can show him my face. Yeah, so...
The devil working hard, man.
Right. Okay. So I was like... I was like, man, am I that woman? But I probably didn't even realize that till later. But still, it kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, it kind of, my confidence was already shook. This is not how I envisioned things going. And now I'm seeing somebody, I'm seeing like you said, his agents, and they're like, all right, man, come on. Devon doesn't have, like literally, they're like, Devon can't read your book right now. We got to keep going. And they just
Oh.
she was like, no, he asked her. And they like took it and they like,
In her face?
not in her
She
face,
eating the
but
page and she like, y'all ain't have to throw my book.
she's like picking up the pages from the floor. She's like, this took me years to read. And I was just like, dang, they do her like that. What they gonna do to
they
me?
gonna punch your daggone. There's a movie on this mother.
Right. So I go up there and like I said, once you like you said in the spotlight, like it's happening fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up there and he was cool. He was like, dude, what's up? And I was like he made you feel comfortable. Like
He said that to you?
yeah.
Mr. Franklin, it's your homie.
Yeah. So
Mr. Franklin.
he really made me feel like he was my homie.
Mr. Franklin. You see this, man?
I'm your homie. So I'm like, Mr. No, I think I called him Devon. I was trying to be like,
Oh, you thought you was cool too. All right. You
That
lost the
Name
point.
basis.
yeah, that probably was. He probably at this point he's a
You said D Money.
This is good, D.
Hey, D Money.
he's a studio executive.
D Nasty.
But nah, he's a studio exec. Do I call him Mr. Franklin? He probably don't
I
like
would-
that.
He probably wouldn't, but I would start if you don't know. I'd be
And
like,
then if you let him say, "Call me Devon."
call me Devon.
Okay, because I'm his homie.
Y'all homies at the end of the day,
Yeah.
right? Mr. Franklin, you said it, right? Don't tell me y'all not homies now.
Right.
You didn't mean it?
So, we're homies, we're cool. And then the fact that the pastor had already shouted me out, I felt like that was my end.
You
So
have some clout now.
I had some clout. I was like, remember Pastor Hughes was like, that filmmaker came all the way from Virginia with this movie. He's like, oh, yeah, that's you? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. So I want you to see this movie. But I'm telling you that I'm saying it like this now, but it probably was like,
You were shaking.
movie for you. And so my plan had worked that I had got the Kindle because he was like, well, how am I gonna see it? And I was like, just let me reach into my
Guards.
I'm gonna
Just take the beams off me for us.
I'm gonna slowly reach into my I don't have a
I'll hand it to them. I ain't even gonna.
right. No, I don't think he so I handed it to him and I was like, I put the movie on here, it's about a guy who stood up for the Seventh-day Adventist faith. He's like, cool, I'm gonna check this out. And I was like, okay, we're homies. He's gonna watch my film or whatever. And then he was like, but I can't take this. I was like, nah, I bought that for you. And he was trying to act like it was a big deal, but I think he like flipped it over.
He was like, well, you got me a Kindle. Boy, if y'all.
Yeah, he was like that.
You got me a Kindle.
But I did, and he was like, I can't take. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
maybe I
then-
can.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna miss it.
So actually, I bought his book, and so I ended up getting like a picture. I'll put the picture up.
You bought a
You
book.
bought his book there?
Yeah, I bought his book while we were there. So add
You
that
got it
to
on
the
you?
li- Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
You read the book?
I read some of it just so that, because I'm thinking we were gonna meet, and I'm like,
Oh, you read it beforehand, so you were trying to read up and.
yeah, just in case in the conversation we were having a talk, and he's like, he brings up something, and he's like, yeah, today's a very nice day.
Oh yeah,
Doesn't-
chapter 2. You had a really good day.
That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
He was like,
Oh man, he read up.
mhm.
He never finished it though.
Yeah,
And y'all homies.
and we're homies. I didn't even finish his book. But yeah, so I said, this iPad is for you. Take this with you. Watch my. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna watch this on the way to the airport.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, I don't, But he said that, but his handlers came and they just kind of put it in this pile. So it's like he's telling me that, but I mean,
With,
I felt
20 other Kindles.
yeah, yeah.
No, those was
No, those was
iPads.
iPads.
That's why they wasn't getting it here.
Right. At this point, I felt like I accomplished my mission. So,
Right.
I've done all I could do. It's in, depending on if you're rooting for me or rooting against me, whose hands it's in. So, but once I handed him the iPad, I kind of stepped over the woman. She was still picking up the pages from her manuscript.
You stepped on her hand. Like the heel of your shoe went her head.
I was like, you should have put it on the Kindle. Maybe he would have read your book. You had some nerve.
Yellow mother.
You had some nerve trying to ambush him with your handwritten manuscript. Should have got a Kindle. And then I go out to, and I was towards the end of the line because, like I said, I was late.
Right.
So, after that, his people kind of escorted him out the back door. And they were having fellowship, but I wasn't even really that hungry.
Wait. You handed him the Kindle.
I handed him the Kindle.
And then the book, and he signed it?
Yeah, he signed my book. We took a picture together. I'll pull it up so people can see.
He's telling the truth. Mr. Franklin.
Y'all can see that we're homies. This is my homie
Homie.
So, he's leaving, and I'm not really hungry, but I decided to go to the fellowship hall, just kind of like fix a plate. I'm like, Devon said he's going to watch my movie on the way to the airport.
You telling people?
Yeah. Devon's going to watch my movie. Where'd you get that cheese? I thought we couldn't have cheese on Saturday.
Is it 8? You can't eat that cheese yet. You know what's messed up? After everybody left and you got out, Deacon went and snatched your Kindle out the pile.
No,
he said,
funny.
man, this mother think he going to see this? Deacon, come on, man.
Yeah, no. After I had got my food, they wrapped up and he was heading out, and I kind of just like went and stood by a window, and
so you could see him leave.
So I could see him leave.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't trying to see him leave, but I just happened to see him like kind of walk out and like get in the vehicle. And like I was like, goodbye, Mr. Franklin. He couldn't hear me. There was like glasses. It's like, nice to meet you, Mr. Franklin. Nice to meet you, bro. And so as he's pulling off, I see the window kind of roll down a little bit, and I could see like, something kind of sliding out the window, and I was like, is that my Kindle? And the Kindle just kind of go, because it was like a black Suburban. And so like my Kindle falls in the ground. And
it's rolling too.
No, like it rolled a little bit, and
you saw the movie come out. That's how bad it was. It was bouncing.
And then so the Suburban stops, and I'm like, oh, maybe they made a mistake, and he accidentally dropped the Kindle out the window. The Suburban backs up and rolls over. It rolls over the Kindle.
You gotta do that because Kindle's thick as hell.
They started doing donuts on it. They said, man, think I'm gonna watch this?
So,
Mr. Franklin. Mr. Franklin. Come on, Franklin. I took my glasses off, sir. Why you do that to him? Why y'all do donuts on this movie?
So, and let me tell you the best part. So, after I see them throw my Kindle out the movie, at this point I'm just like, this whole trip was a bust. Guess who comes up to me? Mr. Deacon. Oh. The head deacon was in charge of the evening service. That's the service that's just kind of like more casual. Mm-hmm. So they were like, we're not gonna give him the main stuff, but he's just gonna do the after service. And somebody had canceled on him, so he was like, we had a cancellation. So you still want to show that movie? I'm like, I don't want to show my movie at
Mr.
the
Deacon.
6 o'clock, 7 o'clock service. This is after everyone done at 8. They're kind of like tired, and it's like the evening kind of service that, most people done gone home. Mr. Franklin already got on his flight. He's heading back home. Everyone who came for the revival is like gone. So it's just like
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's just a handful of people, and now he wants me to show my film.
Wow. So God really used that and positioned you in the place to bless these people after their speaker dropped out.
Right.
And when the moment finally came for your film to be used for good,
I didn't want
You
to.
turn your nose
That's,
up at it.
that's where he was at.
Right.
So
Deacon was right.
Let's add that to the list. So I was already there with unpure intentions, and now, like Kemp said, a film that could have impacted these evening service people's lives. I didn't even want to show it no more because Mr. Franklin didn't get to see it.
crazy.
So but anyway, fast forward to the evening service. Like it was just how I thought. People were kind of like rolling in there. They told me it was gonna start at like 6. It was like 6:40. I'm like, yo, I gotta go.
When was your flight? The next day?
Yeah, my flight was the next day. And I was like, I gotta go. I don't want to be in here no more. It's like 6:40. I'm like, when you get the show on the road, when you go show my movie or not? Do I need to be
Don't
here?
be in there with no attitude now.
I'm like, Mr. Deacon, I pushed him up against the wall.
You said I could show my stuff now.
So, the service finally starts. They bring in the projector. So the movie starts. People are into it. Everyone's clapping. Everyone's like, that junk was fire. Deacon comes over and he was like, why didn't you tell me? We could have showed that to Mr. Devon Franklin.
Oh, man.
So, but yeah, like looking back on that like whole experience, it's kind of like Kemp said, or like relating it back to that woman and how the billboard, and how people were kind of debating like Tyler Perry is like, that's not the way to reach me. But it's like, how there's no way to reach these people. Mm-hmm. Tyler Perry wasn't the only one to say that, because Steve Harvey said that too. He was like, he has a policy now where he can't
even get to him.
You can't even get to him because
they say don't talk to him.
Don't talk to him because it was the people.
I think that's different too, because he was like staff members was knocking on.
That's
his
what I'm saying. It was like people were playing the long game. Mm-hmm. I was playing the short game. I was just going there to do a quick ambush. Maybe it will work. People were actually like, these were people he trusted, his staffers, who were like, hey, Mr. Harvey, do you have a few minutes? He's like, this is not the place to,
People watching, did Drew go too far? Or do you respect the commitment? Do you respect the commitment?
What do you think?
I can respect it. But at the same time, I think too many people feel like they deserve a shot without actually having the work and things to back it. Like, honestly, I don't expect any of my friends, whenever I put something out there, to share anything. I don't expect family and friends to do it. Right. I feel like I need to earn everybody's support. Mm-hmm. I don't think I feel like out of respect, I work on my craft to earn that support and give you a reason to support me. So we talk a lot about how you guys would never show your student films, how they were horrible. It was a time of learning. So my question is to you today.
Right.
Do you still think that film is worth Devon Franklin's time?
I would say that I still think for where we were in our filmmaking that was a good film. And obviously, like I said, that was after my first year.
Okay. So do you think where you were then was worth Devon Franklin's money and time to put you on to the next level?
No, because I wouldn't have been ready yet.
All right. Then there goes my answer to that question. I think it was too far. But if you felt like you honestly were at that place, I wouldn't say it was too far.
Right. So what?
Hindsight 2020.
Right. So do you agree with that? Would I have to?
Because your goal was, this is the base of something that can be bigger. Versus going to him like, yo, this it. Put this in the theater right now. Just
that's
buy
the
this.
thing too. Right. I'm
more so on page with that.
Right.
Now, if you was bringing it to him like, yo, I've arrived. Look at me. Like, look at this film. It's gonna change your life.
Right.
Then it's like, slow your roll.
And comparing it to the Billboard lady, that's what she was doing. She was like, I'm your next leading lady. And I think that's why people saw it negatively.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, bet on yourself. So obviously she thought she was that good, and obviously today she has the role. So
Shouts out to her, man.
maybe
Right.
she is that good.
Right.
So that's what I said. If you feel like you're that good, go for it. I respect that hustle, but
Right.
at the same time,
I mean, I definitely,
that good. Help your man out, Devon.
yeah, Devon.
Mr. Franklin, if you are listening, of course you are.
He's watching this on the Kindle.
What would you say? he punted that.
You know, Kendra don't get Wi-Fi's like that.
Come on now. You can
I should've
only
got-
read books on it anyway.
I should have got the iPad.
Was that the issue, Mr. Franklin? It should have been an iPad. Then he would have took you more seriously.
So yeah, so you want me to? So if
Put
I had,
the total of everything you spent.
if
right
he
here.
if he is watching,
Is this dollar amount enough for you, Mr. Franklin?
if he is watching, my biggest takeaway is like Kemp said, it's like not having that expectation for people to help you. Even though like I did read some of his book and he caught some breaks. Like he interned and kind of, used those connections to kind of get to where he's at. It might have been like it might have been like like me taking a bad shortcut. So I would say like from now I'm like, I'm going to be successful in some capacity as a filmmaker without trying to, make that shortcut. Cause it's like you said, I wasn't ready. We weren't ready at that time. Since then that was what, 3 years ago, and I've gained
Four
and a half years ago, I've gained like so much more knowledge, like as a filmmaker.
Yeah, you ready now?
Yeah.
You did get his book, right?
Yeah, I did get his book, and I think I can go get it. You want to see it?
Franklin.
I bought his book.
And just so nobody thinks you just bought this for the.
Yeah, he signed. He
his,
signed it and everything. I think he signed the
signature?
front of it.
Here you go.
What does it say?
Keep going and using your gift,
That's
Andrew.
That's all he had to say, Mr. Franklin.
And y'all homies.
We homies.
And this is before he threw you. Oh man. You know what? I think there is some salt with some of that's pride, man.
All right. No,
Cause it's like, how could he? Y'all homies.
we're homies. We're friends. But anyway. So moral of the story. What's the moral of the story? Take us out.
No shortcuts unless you got enough money for a billboard.
Yeah, because she's successful now.
She made
You can't just have a iPad or Kindle.
You ain't gonna make it with just an iPad. No. You ain't gonna just make it with a
Kindle.
film.
You might have made it with
Kindle.
the iPad.
Just go for the iPad
a flight,
next time.
a tuxedo,
Film,
a connection,
Kindle, flight,
all
tuxedo,
I coulda
hotel, connection.
I could have got a billboard for all that. So moral of the story: get a billboard.
Just buy a
next time.
billboard, man.